Hey, Bo, after going back and watching the film, is there something that you think you maybe could have done differently on those deep throws or when you get that chance again?
I'm going to miss several throws in the future and probably going to miss a few deep ones. We just got to keep throwing.
Let me ask you this, though. Coach said, that he wants you to just keep firing. You're going to hit him. How do you like that confidence he has in you to keep doing it?
Well, I love it. That's, the name of the game. You just keep making the next play. You keep throwing it. You don't want to be, afraid of failure. You don't want to be afraid of missing. You just go out there and shoot the shot, and, we'll hit them.
Well, you had some big-time plays in the primetime games last year, whether it was the throw to Mims on Monday night, the other one's to Mims against Cincinnati. But what do you enjoy about those kind of big stages, and do you feel like you raise your game in those moments?
Well, I feel like, it's every one of our dreams to play in front of the lights with, national television. It's what you grow up watching. So it's just, I think there's some adrenaline that comes with the game that, it's not just a Sunday afternoon with a lot of teams playing. You're the primetime game and, the only one that's on.
Well, your coach spent a lot of the summer talking you up and talking up the Super Bowl chances for this team. And I'm wondering if that put any sort of extra pressure on your shoulders, on your plate.
I don't think so. I think, it's better than him talking about how, tough of a season it's going to be because we don't have it. So I'd rather, have the confidence going in and, have the full season to play and just get to go out there and play it out than a coach that doesn't really have confidence in us.
Well, in your career, what have been some of the things that have helped you get into and stay into a rhythm?
That's a great question. I think just early game completions, early game, touchdowns, get in a rhythm early in games. It feeds off, the rest of the game, and then, usually those go week to week. You get in a good rhythm, you see things well, and I think that's a little bit of our thing is we're not really catching a rhythm. We're just kind of, hit or miss, and that's, as an offense, it's tough. No matter, if you're trying to run the ball or throw it, you always want to get in a rhythm.
How much input do you have during the week in conversations with the coaching staff as to some of the things that you like early on in the games to be able to get into that kind of rhythm?
A little bit, but not much.
Well, how encouraging is it that you guys haven't trailed in the fourth quarter so far in any of these 3 games this year?
Well, I think that's the crazy thing. We've played, really good opponents, and we've led in the end of the game. We were one play in a fourth quarter away from putting the game out of reach, and it's going to be soon that we make that play. But we definitely have to learn from these losses and learn why we're not finishing the game, learn why we're not putting the game, out of the other team's hands. And when you play a good team and you don't do that and you keep letting them hang around, they're going to find a play. And so we got to be that team that finds the play.
A lot of the numbers on the Bengals defense aren't near the top of the NFL. What have you seen from this defense you think that could present problems and things perhaps you can take advantage of?
Well, I've learned in the league, any week a team can show up and play really well. A team can show up and play, better than what they've looked on film. And, they're 2-1. They're a good team. And, I think they're, still, even though, with Joe out, they still got stuff to prove. They got, good players on defense. They're going to fly around. And, it's their Monday night game, too, so they're going to be ready to play.
You played them in Week 17 last year. How much can you take for that game, or the fact they have a new defensive coordinator that kind of changed things?
It changes a lot. You can look at personnel and stuff, but overall scheme, you're going to have to watch something different. But, they'll have similar players, and you'll probably be doing similar things, but overall they'll have a different scheme.
Well, Sean just said it feels like 3 games you guys haven't really hit on kind of that offensive identity yet. Obviously you want to establish it soon. Do you feel like you know what it is, or have inklings of like where are you at kind of in that process right now?
Well, I think with, you look at our offseason acquisitions, the guys that we got, we're still trying to fit them into our scheme, find out, where we are as a team. But, we still have an identity up front. They're going to keep the guys off of me. We're going to be able to, not stay in long yardage because of sacks. We're going to complete passes. Cortland's going to have good games. And, those other guys, as they continue to grow, they're going to find their rhythm. And I'm going to continue, after, just 20-something games I've played, going to continue to get better and better and see things well. And then, we're going to continue to find the rhythm and the plays that we like, the scheme that we want to fall back on. But, it takes about, 3 or 4 weeks, each season. You're always looking around unless you have the same exact team with the same exact coaches. And even with an identity, you know, it's important to have. It's important to use and be able to fall back on that. But the defense also knows, you know, what you're good at. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to change a little bit, you know, year by year, game by game.
Time for a few more for Bo.
JK only just got here in June, but when you talk to players in that locker room, he's already kind of made a big impact from a leadership standpoint. What is it about him that's been able to kind of endear him so quickly to members of this team?
Well, you know, I think his experience that he has, he's been a good back in the league for several years, and then, you know, he came in with some juice. You know, he's relentless. You know, we want to get the looks right. We want to make sure that, you know, in practice it may not go how we want it. And then, you know, if it's a run play, usually it's him. If it's a pass play, usually it's me. You know, we're calling guys back. You want to do it again, make sure we get it right so that we get it right in the game. And he's just done that with a good attitude, and he's been, you know, very passionate about getting things right, and I think that's really important. It's going to spread throughout the team.
Yeah, JK was quick to have your back the other day when asked about, you know, a couple of those misses. He's like, we have to make a play for it. So you're going to obviously take accountability constantly, but when you hear that from him, how do you react?
Well, it's great. I mean, that's a locker room filled with good leaders, good teammates. You know, we're going to have each other's back. I'm going to be better for the receivers. You know, JK is going to be better in other places. Receivers are going to be better. I mean, we all just have that, you know, thumb mentality where we're pointing at ourselves, and you know, we all have to get better for each other. If we, you know, that was a big thing after the game. Cortland said it. You know, you can look around and find somebody to blame. That's the easy route, but the important, mature route is to, you know, take accountability, say, what can I do to be even better? How can I be as close to my, you know, my best as I can possibly be? And until we are all, you know, doing that, we got a lot, you know, we can clean up. And everybody's had a good mentality about it, good attitude.
Last one, Luca.
But with the amount of pressure that you kind of put on yourself, you know, and obviously the fear of sort of failure that you've talked about at times, like where do you feel like you're at mentally through 3 weeks, knowing that at times you've left plays out there, things aren't exactly where you want to be? Like, where are you kind of mentally right now?
I'm in a great spot. I feel like I'm always going to leave plays out there, and that's why I'm going to keep stepping back up to the podium and having an answer for them. But, you know, ultimately, you want to go out there and hit every single one of them. I've yet to actually play a game where I have hit all of them, so I'm working on that. But I feel confident that one day I can go out there and do it. You know, that may be crazy on my part, but I truly believe it. And I know that the team, the locker room's got my back, and we're all looking to find that rhythm and the right spot to where we're playing really good. We're being really efficient offensively. And the good thing is got a lot of those mentalities in the locker room to where, you know, tight ends, receivers, O-line, we're all working on being as efficient as possible. So I think we're in a really good spot mentally, because sometimes these games are important. You know, it's not like we're getting blown out. We've played really good teams, and we've led until the literal last play. So sometimes that's how the ball bounces, and you just got to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do to not only make your team better, but to grow as yourself. And, you know, ultimately we're just here to win football games. And so you can throw everything out the window. All that matters is the end of the game. Did you win or did you lose, and how do you not lose the next time? So that's what we're focused on this week, is just finding a win.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.